just walking out here through the pasture. Oh wait, this is a cornfield. Huh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a nice, calm 55 degrees out here in Indiana. And today we're actually going to be pattern tiling an already pattern tiled field. Because, as you may know, already this part of Indiana got flooded this past spring, and the farmers realized that the field that they thought was good enough was not, because they actually laid 3-inch laterals and they were on 80-foot spacing. So yeah, that was not good enough for 3 inches of rain in a matter of a week, and then the next week getting 2 inches of rain. So we're going to be fixing that today. As you can see with these orange flags, Milk Dud has already located the main for us. Now we're just gonna have to dig parallel with that main because, well, we need to find a lateral that they laid, because that'll tell us our spacings and also give us a depth on how deep they laid these laterals. So first things first, we're gonna have to locate a lateral. See, we found the 3-inch here, and it's roughly about 31 inches deep from the top. And now we measured in between every 3-inch lateral with a set of flags. So that's where we gotta dig starts now, because, well, the 10-inch main's not very deep, so we can't just plow over it. So we're gonna have to dig a few starts. We just got done with our first start, and we drilled it in the 3 o'clock position, as you see here. And when we say 3 o'clock position, we mean picture it like a clock. You got 12 o'clock up here, 3 o'clock over here, 9 o'clock over here. We want it either in 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. That way it's flat, like your trench bottom is flat and you're not drilling it in the bottom of the pipe. Your tap tee doesn't have to go up into the pipe. But yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good that way too. Now we just got a handful more, and then this field will be good to go. We'll have to go to a different field because we got 2 fields that we need to salvage here. We're trying to salvage this drainage project that somebody already did before us. We didn't do it, but we're trying to salvage it because, well, it's not very cheap to do a whole field of farm drainage, so we're going to be trying to salvage it. We just got done digging all of our starts. We got 4 dug here. Milk Dud dug a start for our 6s back in the back. We're actually going to plow up along that fence row, and there's a low hole out there. We're going to try plowing over the 3-inch laterals that are already out there, but that'll be tomorrow. We've got to go load up and move to the next field that we're trying to salvage. So I'll show you what we got going on over there when we get there. Okay, here we are. As you can see, we have already laid our main in here. We actually paralleled an older main. It was a 12-inch. We paralleled it with a 15-inch smooth core, and we tied everything in on this side of the main, and we left the other main to take care of the other side. So we only tied in half the laterals, basically, because the laterals coming downhill this way will tie into this main, and then the laterals coming downhill towards us will tie into the main that's still there on the other side of this 15 that we just put in, if that makes any sense or not. But this farm, just like the other one, has already been pattern tiled. As you can see, we chewed through some 4s and some 3s. There's a 3 up here. Here's a 3. But we've already tied them back into our 15-inch tile, and we've plugged the downward side of them. But as you can see, this farm has experienced some very, very wet conditions this year. As you can see in front of us, there's like a, oh my, I want to say 10 to 15 acre just field of grass and corn stalks, because they already shelled it, obviously. But I mean, we've got some drone shots of this field this past spring, and it was just completely just poor. As you can see, these corn stalks are about the size of your pinky. That's just how poor this field did. But these 3-inch and 4-inch laterals are basically 3,000 feet long, and they are 80 feet apart from each other. So each lateral is basically responsible for like 3 acres of drainage. And well, that's okay if you have slope, but the laterals were laid pretty much dead flat, so we're gonna have to lay laterals in between the laterals that are already here. Basically, some of them are going to be 6s, some of them are going to be 4, because 6s obviously can take in a lot more acreage than 4s can. But yeah, we got big starts off of our 15-inch main now, so should be fun. Now, just like Bubbles was showing you on the last video, these tap tees are only allowed, you're only allowed to go up to 12-inch on them. See on the side it says 6/8, 10/12. So on a 15-inch smooth core like this, we got to use a coupler. And we'll just stick it in, and it works just like a tap tee, except it's not a tap tee, it's a coupler. We drill it right in the side, just like our last one. Then we just shove our 4-inch coupler in, and we make sure that it's grabbing all the way around, which it feels like it is. Yep, just like that. Now we just have about 10 more to do down through there, and then we'll be done, and we'll start plowing tomorrow. So yeah. Here you can see a tile poking out of the dirt right there, and our main is about foot and a half lower than that actually is, and we know for certain that that taps right into the side of the main just like ours does. And Money Mike was saying earlier that he was still struggling to get enough slope on the pipe to get all the way to the road, hence the reason why we're doing some of these in 6s, because obviously the more slope you have on your pipe, the more water it can move, and if you lay a 4-inch lateral flat, it can't move a whole lot of water at once. So if you're going to lay it really flat, you need to put in a 6-inch tile. You got to think of it like a truck going down a mountain. If the more slope there is, the faster it'll move, and the more acreage that you can drain with that pipe. That's the way I think of it as. But if that doesn't make sense, then you can always go down in the comments below and ask your question. I'll try to answer them. Yeah. Yep, good to go. Now he's just gonna cut it with his cutter crusher, and then they'll rip it out of the ground and be going back to the next start. He just cut it with his cutter crusher. Now he's gonna plow that, pull it out of the ground. Every time the cutter crusher crushes the pipe and we're doing starts, I have to cut this tail off, because obviously you can't put that tail into your coupler. You can't clip that tail into your coupler, won't fit, and you can't, water won't be able to run through it. Come on, Bessie. A little bit more. Good to go. Look down through there. This is his camera. He's looking at it through the plow. Another start done. This time Milk Duds running the plow. Money Mike's teaching him how. It's a beautiful morning out here in Windiana. It looks like it's a little bit overcast. I hope it could rain, because we've been dry the last several weeks. There, he found his better button. Good job. And then once they get rocking and rolling, my job is to, that fell into the hole. Oh well. My job is to bed the pipe, but yeah, make sure no big dirt clods get on top of it, like you see down there on the left. Just like that. Just got it nice and bedded the best I can with my hands. Then the Mini will come back and do the rest. But it looks like they're running out of pipe, so let's go fill them back up, drop another load, drop another roll on them. Oh yeah, this cradle, that whoever built this cradle knew what they were doing. I can just load the pipe by myself. That's sweet. Huh. Shout out to whoever did that. They knew what they were doing. Now they're putting the hat back on top. You see those fiberglass rods? Oh, came down on top of the pipe. Then all they gotta do is cut the rest of the strings and couple the pipe together, and they're good to go. Now we're just gonna lightly backfill our start with some nice fluffy material here, and we're going to try to get it evenly on both sides. Yep, just like that. Go back for another scoop. Try not to get any big clumps in it. You can kind of shake your bucket around a little if there's any on the edge. And then we just got to lightly backfill, just like that. Maybe one more scoop, and then this scoop you don't really have to necessarily care about what's in it, since there's already a good cover on top of your pipe all the way around it, it can be a little bit clumpier. But you still got to make sure that you're not dumping just a whole slob gob on top of your pipe all at once, or else it might want to squish it a little bit. One more. That'll do it. Sweet. Then we can push the rest in with our blade. We got those 4s laid up by the road. Now we're just working on plowing over the 3-inch laterals that are already here. And Milk Dud forgot to put his hat on, so he put it on right now. But yeah, the 3-inch laterals that have already been laid are running like this. And obviously we're plowing over them going like this, so perpendicular with them. And our 6-inch main has actually not been laid yet. We're actually going to be laying our 6-inch main into our 4-inch laterals, because if we didn't, then we'd have to dig starts off of our 6-inch main, and that'd take about half a day to dig them. So it's a lot easier to dig fluff than hard compacted soil, because it's been dry for the last 4 weeks. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Instead of digging starts, we're just going to have to couple our 4-inch and tap it into the side of our 6. It makes it a lot easier. It makes this go a lot faster, that is, too. Milk Dud just got done laying his laterals, and now we're going to plow our 6-inch main through our laterals. That way we don't have to dig starts. So here we go. The only problem with cutting through your laterals with your main is, well, it's a little bit bumpy when you're stringing the main, as you can imagine. But it's aight. Weed ball. Time for number 2. So while Milk Dud tracks across the field to go to the other field, I'll show you what we did here. So here's the end of that 4 that he plowed first, and then over here you have our 6 that he plowed second, and he actually didn't hit the 4 like we thought he would. He left a little space there, so we're gonna have to dig out right here, and it's pretty easy digging because he plowed through it. So there's the bottom of our trench, as you can see right there, and we're just gonna tap it in the side just like we would as if we were digging a start, except we plowed our 6 through the 4-inch trench like that. Get our tap. Something like that. There we go. Make sure there's no dirt under our pipe. Now we're gonna cut it right here. Make sure there's some nice fluffy dirt on top of it, and we're good to go. As you can see, it's a lot easier than digging starch because we would have had to dig about 20 more feet than what we did. So this is how we stay efficient in the field, I guess you could say. We got Milk Dud all situated. We got all our 6s plowed in, tied into the 15. Now we're just running our laterals. Here he goes on the first start. And like I said earlier, these are going to be on 80-foot spacings because, well, they laid their 3-inch on 80-foot spacing, so we're just going to be paralleling them in between them. But yeah, off we go. So while he keeps plowing, we're just gonna go along and fix our 3 inches that we plowed through with our 6. So first things first, we gotta measure and mark each one. So we're gonna lay our tape measure down right there. I'm gonna take this big old dirt clod, put it on top of our tape measure. Hopefully it'll stay. And we're just gonna lay out each 3 that we cut through. Then we're gonna mark them, and then we're obviously gonna tie them back into our 6-inch tile that we ran through here. So we got them all marked on with our tape measure of where we think they are. Now we just gotta dig for a tile line, And then obviously once we find our tile line, we can dig down to the tile and connect them into our 6-inch tile that we plowed up through here. And then we're gonna plug the downhill side of them, because we're only tying in the uphill side, if that makes any sense or not. Ooh, I think I found the tile line. Sweet. Now we just gotta dig down to it. So here we have found our 3-inch, and we have plowed through it with our 6-inch, as you can see. Now we're just gonna cut our 3-inch here. And that's all good to go. Maybe we could dig it back some more. We'll have to dig it back some more there. But we're just gonna cap that in. Looks like there's a coupler there. We're not gonna reuse that, but we're just gonna plug that in and tie that end into our 6-inch tile. So yeah. Hey, we got it. Yep. As you can see, that's plugged. And that's good to go. So we got everything here to do the job. We cut that a little bit farther back, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. So we got a 4-inch hole saw here. We're going to do it just like we're doing a 4. So we're going to drill the hole. About got stuck. About lost the drill. Okay, now that's done. Ooh, we're going to have to dig that out some more. Okay. Try to get the dirt out of our pipe. Okay, now we can move that around. We're gonna stick our 3-inch coupler in there, just like so. Dig underneath that some more. Okay, come on, Bessie. Yep, and we're actually gonna put a 4-inch tap T in, just like so. Then we got our 4-inch pipe here. We're gonna cut it in half, just like this. Gonna stick that in there, just like that. Gonna stick our 3-inch in, just like that, until it hits the coupler, the tap T. See, it can't shove in anymore. Wait, it just did. Okay, that means that we're inside the tap T, which is better because that means it's a more snug fit. And now we're just going to cut our 3-inch pipe right here. And we're going to do something like that. And then we have a piece of fabric here. As you can see, we have a little bit of a wiggle room in between our 3-inch and our 4-inch pipe. So we're going to stuff some fabric down in that void right there. Make it so that it won't suck dirt. And then you should be good to go. That's all there is to it, folks. Piece of 3 slipped inside of our piece of 4 with some fabric and a 4-inch tap, just like you normally would a 4. Plug that in, which it's already covered up with dirt. But yeah, that's all there is to it. I'll do it 4 more times and then this project will be done. So sweet. So I apologize, I've kind of messed up when filming this. Originally I had said that the people before us had tiled this field on 80-foot spacings, and I was like,
hold up, wait a minute.
And I was talking to my boss, and I was like, yeah, I'll just tie in, dig in the middle of each one and tie one in per lateral, right? And he's like, now wait a minute, there's gonna be 2 in some of those. Well, I guess the guys before us, they tiled this on 40-foot spacings, not like the 80-foot spacing that I had originally told you. But what we did is we tiled this on 80-foot spacings. So here's a 3-inch lateral here. We laid one about 20 feet over right here, and then 40 feet over from this one there's another 3-inch lateral going up, and then we have another 4-inch lateral on the other side of that. So basically what we did was we went every other lateral, we put a another lateral in between it. So now this field is pattern tiled on 20-foot spacings in some spots, and then 40-foot spacings in other spots. But yeah, I just figured I'd share what I messed up on. But the same things still apply, because a 3-inch lateral, 3,000 foot long, laid on no slope, can only service about half an acre. And it's, with the way it's set up, is each lateral is taking in about 2.5 acres. So this field could not drain very easily, but now it should, because we upsized our pipe, some 4s, some 6s, and that should take care of it. It's a lot closer spacing, some spots 20-foot spacings. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. It just goes to show it pays to know what you're doing, I guess. We just got everything wrapped up. We got all our 3s tied back into our 6-inch main, and everything's tied in. So that's all she wrote on this project. So toodles.